Good evening, everybody. Thursday night, December 4th, 2025. This is the North American Sports Report. I'm Billy DiNapoli, and coming on tonight for a little Thursday night football pregame where we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions for a pivotal matchup with playoff implications abound here. So obviously the loser of this game is most likely not going to make the playoffs. That's what we're looking at. I just got a message, go Cowboys. Yes, okay. We got some of the Cowboy fans on board. We're going to go over a bunch of stuff. We're also going to go over the college football rankings. The college football playoff rankings, which came out, and there's been much controversy and discussion about that. We'll get to that in a minute. I do want to go over the injuries for tonight's game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the fantastic wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, has not practiced all week. They are calling him a game-time decision. He has not practiced with the ankle injury. Hasn't been on the field since he was taken off of it last week. I know he did try to come back and play a little last week, but it's not looking like he's a go from what I've heard, but he is a game-time decision. The Lions do have some guys out. Kirby Joseph, their safety, is out. Brian Branch, one of their corners, is questionable. Limited in practice. Again, Kirby Joseph is out at safety. St. Brown is a game-time decision, but I would say he's doubtful, but not out. One of their offensive guards, Coyote Awasika, is out. Tight end Brock Wright is out. So listen, they're going to be missing a few guys. Obviously, Brock Wright's not their main tight end, but they're missing a safety. They're missing a guard. They may be missing their best wide receiver. Brian Branch may not suit up, but he is listed as questionable. But for certain, Awasika is out. Wright is out at tight end. Obviously, Awasika is out at the guard position, and Kerry Joseph is out at safety. So those three guys are out. Brian Branch is questionable, and I would say St. Brown is doubtful. Those are the injuries for the Lions. For the Cowboys, Trayvon Diggs, who did return to practice this week, he will not play. Apparently, he was limited in practice, so corner Trayvon Diggs will not play tonight. I don't really know how much that even matters. He hasn't played in, I don't even remember the last time he played. I know since he hasn't played, the defense has gotten way better. I like Ravel playing. Bland has actually picked up his game. Once Ravel was added into the secondary. Also, your safeties, Hooker and Wilson, are back. Stewart has played in the slot in the wake of Carson. Khalil Carson should return tonight. He is listed as questionable, but he was not on the injury report. He was listed as questionable late in the week. He is not on the injury report the one I just... A little trouble here. Sorry, guys. We actually lost our feed for a second, but it appears that we are back. I apologize for that. Anyway, we're having a little connection issues, but we left for about 10 seconds, but now we're back. Anyway, Jadeveon Clowney will, he's listed as questionable. He did practice the very last practice of the week before they traveled to Detroit. He was in the walkthrough. I think Clowney is going to play. Offensive tackle Tyler Guyton is out. Tyler Guyton is out for the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs is out for the Cowboys. Clowney is questionable, but we're thinking he's going to play because he did practice at the end of the week. He was at the walkthrough with the team as well. So Clowney is looking like a go. Guyton and Diggs are out. St. Brown is a game-time decision for the Lions. Safety Joseph, offensive guard Awasika, and tight end Wright are out. Brian Branch is listed as questionable, the DB. And if they're missing a safety, if they're missing a corner and a safety, that could spell curtains for the Lions. But we'll get to more of that. Let's take a look at the line for tonight. The Cowboys are underdogs on the road. The Lions are favored by 3.5. Dallas plus 3.5. The over-under is 55.5. Obviously, this is a must-win game for both teams. The loser of this game is most likely not making the playoffs. So we know the Cowboys, probably their best chance of getting in with the Bears on top of the North. Obviously, your best chance is catching the Philadelphia Eagles in your division. Because right now, the wild cards are the Packers, the Seahawks, who are, the Seahawks are 9-3, the Niners are 9-4, and the Packers are 9-3-1. So your best chance, listen, if you run the table, maybe you can catch the Niners. If you go 11-5-1, but the way the Eagles are struggling, your best chance to catch and get in the playoffs is to catch the Eagles in your own division. That's your best chance. I mean, the Eagles, the way they're struggling, who knows? I mean, right now, the Eagles are what? 8-4 after their upset. The Eagles are 8-4 and heading to LA to play the Chargers this week. So you win tonight, you're basically a game behind the Eagles, and they could stumble. They're sputtering on offense right now. There's some infighting. The coach is the coach is getting questioned. The offensive coordinator is getting questioned. A.J. Brown's happy because he's been getting his numbers the last 3 weeks, but the running game isn't there. The offensive line isn't playing great. They're not playing that power football. Even the tush push isn't working every time for the Eagles anymore. So the Cowboys' best chance is to catch the Eagles. The Eagles, they could go 10-7. And so the Cowboys might be able to lose one more game, not two. And their best bet is to run the table. The Lions are 7-5. If the Lions lose, they're probably done. So tonight's game is very big for both teams. It's almost a must-win because you're probably not catching the Rams. The Rams are the NFC West division leaders. You're probably not catching the 9-3 Seahawks and 9-4 49ers. You're probably not catching them in the wild card. Listen, anything's possible. Injuries. McCaffrey could get hurt for the Niners. Purdy could slump a little. I would say your best bet, if you're going the wild card way, would be to catch the Niners, or maybe the Seahawks. You're probably not catching the Packers. You're going to find out maybe the Bears fall into the wild card because the Bears and the Packers will play this week, and that's the game of the week. Who would have thought that the Chicago Bears would be 9-3 and in first place? I'm sorry, the Packers are 8-3-1. They've played one less game than the 49ers, who are 9-4, and in that wild card slot. Obviously, the Rams are on top of their division. The Bears are on top of the NFC North. The Eagles are currently on top of the NFC East, and the Buccaneers are on top of the NFC South, and there will be no wild card out of that division. So in the NFC, this is must-win city for both the Lions and the Cowboys. Must-win city. I am going over our picks. We did give you the Patriots and the over in a teaser, and that won. That improves our record to 45-49-1 on the season. Now listen, we had a pretty good Thanksgiving Thursday and Friday. We went 3-2. Then we bombed out on Sunday with a 1-5. And we came back with a 1-0 on Monday night. So we went 5-7 last week. Not great. It brought us to under 500. We're 45-49-1 with our picks. We are 27-26-2 in college. We will be going over all the conference championship games. And we're going to get to the college football right now. The line is 3.5 tonight. I am picking the Dallas Cowboys tonight officially plus 3.5. And I am also going to take the Cowboys and I'm going to tease the over from 55.5 down. Wow, it went up. Down to 49.5. I think tonight's game is going to be a high score, 30-24, 31-34, 34, 37-34. I think there's going to be a lot of offense tonight. So I'm taking Dallas plus 3.5, and I'm also taking the Cowboys plus 9.5 with an over-under of 49.5. Over 49.5. So we are teasing the over from 55.5 to 49.5, and teasing the Cowboys from 3.5 to 9.5. So Cowboys and an over teaser, and the Cowboys straight plus 3.5. I don't always pick my team because I don't like to jinx them, and over the last couple of years I've been betting against them. Definitely last year I bet against them a lot, and they didn't cover much. But they certainly are better than we thought they would be this year. And again, I think the future is bright for the Cowboys. You've got draft capital. You've got a fantastic offense in place. You've got a young offensive line that is just playing fantastic with all the Tylers. And the three guys named Tyler, Guyton, Smith, I forget the other, but I don't have it in front of me. But the young Cowboy offensive line has been fantastic, way better than anybody expected, and it's only going to get better. The Cowboys have a very good running game. They have probably the best receiving tandem in the league. They're in good shape on offense, and their defense is getting better with the addition of Overshone, Quinn Williams in the middle, this young corner Ravel, who, remember, they took a flyer out of this kid from East Carolina, and he hurt his knee in his senior season, and listen, they were willing to take a risk. This kid blew out his knee. He was probably going to be a first-round draft pick, was Siobhan Ravel, and he blew out his knee in his senior year at Eastern Carolina, and that dropped him. Some people didn't want to draft him at all. The Cowboys took a waiver on him in the third round, and it has worked out. So with Ravel and Overshone and Williams and Kenny Clark in the middle, you got 4 new players on your defense that are all impact guys, and you're going to have 2 first-round draft picks, which I guarantee you the Cowboys are going to spend them on defense. Next year, your defense is going to look even better. Future is bright for the Cowboys. Might not be this year, but Jerry Jones finally did some things right. I guess I can't be killing him every week for a little while. All right, we're going to switch it to college football real quick before we get out of here. Again, we're taking the Cowboys tonight, plus 3.5, and we're taking the Cowboys and over in a teaser. We gave you the injury report already. Clowney is likely to play, but still listed as questionable. Unfortunately, offensive tackle Tyler Guyton is out. Trayvon Diggs is out for the Cowboys. St. Brown is a game-time decision. I don't think it's likely he's going to play. Kerry Joseph at safety is out. Awasuka, the offensive guard, is out. Brock Wright at tight end is out. And Brian Branch is listed as questionable at DB. Those 2 corners. Safety out. If the corner's out too, you want your secondary intact. And the Lions got a lot of guys playing banged up there too. All right. The college football playoff rankings. The CFP rankings came out, and there's been a lot of uproar about it. Number 1, Ohio State, as expected. Indiana, no surprise. Georgia at 3. Texas Tech at 4. Oregon at 5. Ole Miss at 6. Ole Miss loses their coach Lane Kiffin, who signs with LSU and doesn't drop a spot. They retain the defensive coordinator as the new head coach, Ronald Golding, and apparently, even though he's leaving to go with Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss's son, Charlie Weiss Jr., will stay and call the plays during the playoffs for Ole Miss. Texas A&M is 7, so Ole Miss doesn't drop a spot without their coach leaving, which some thought would happen. Texas A&M is ranked 7. Oklahoma is 8. Here's where it gets interesting. Alabama went from 10 to 9. Notre Dame is at 10. BYU is at 11. They didn't move, and neither did the Miami Hurricanes, who are at 12. Texas is at 13. The rest is Vandy. 14, Utah 15, USC 16, Virginia 17, and they're playing in the ACC championship game, followed by Arizona. Just a second here. 1 second, kids. I can't read my own writing, if you can believe that. Arizona is 18 and Michigan is 19. So you have Vandy 14, Utah 15, USC 16. These teams are not going. Virginia is going to play in the ACC championship game. Arizona is 18, Michigan is 19, Tulane is 20, Houston 21, Georgia 22. Georgia Tech 22, obviously. Georgia's number 3. Georgia Tech is 22. Iowa 23. North Texas 24. And James Madison 25. Now, James Madison is going to play in the Sun Belt Championship game against Troy. Troy is 8-4. James Madison's 11-1. They're a 23.5-point favorite in that game. Now, North Texas and Tulane are playing in the American Athletic Conference Champion. These games are Friday night, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. These games are tomorrow night. Now, these games are going to determine who the Power 5 team is, and there's a chance that if Duke defeats Virginia in the ACC championship game, they might not put a team from the ACC in at all, which is unprecedented. The ACC champion usually gets the auto bid. I've seen it not happen when Florida State's quarterback got injured a few years back and they took them out because they knew they wouldn't be as good without their starting quarterback, Travis. I remember when he got injured. Now, North Texas and Tulane are probably playing for that 5th bid. They're the 2 best of the Power 5. They're going to play in the AAC championship game tomorrow night, and I do believe the winner of North Texas Tulane will get in. James Madison could get in if they win their conference championship. I don't think that it's likely that they're going to take the winner of North Texas and Tulane and James Madison if Virginia wins the ACC championship game. Now, the big story is, how is Miami ranked 12th when Notre Dame is 10? That's been the big brouhaha. Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. Okay, they had the same strength of schedule. Okay, the same strength of schedule. Miami had more opponents, more victories over ranked opponents. They had 4. Okay, now I know Florida State didn't finish ranked, and USF finished just outside of the rankings, even though they had a very good season. But they beat number 6 Notre Dame, and their last game was against 22 ranked Pittsburgh. Notre Dame's only victory over a ranked opponent was USC. And at the time, USC is 16th, but at the time they were, I do believe, 18th or 21st, one of those. But that's their best victory. Yes, I know they've won 10 in a row, whooping up on scrubs like Stanford. And I do think Notre Dame is worthy to be in there, but not ahead of Miami. I mean, Miami has a real beef here. They played 4 like opponents down the stretch. Miami beat 3 out of the 4 by more points than Notre Dame did. So their strength of schedule, they scored more points. Head-to-head, strength of schedule is the same. Higher ranked opponent is in your victory column. Miami has every criteria that the CFP swears upon, and yet they are behind because they had a late loss to Louisville. And listen, they did lose to SMU too, but I mean, SMU in Dallas, they were a playoff team last year, losing on the road in overtime. The Louisville loss is really the one that kills Miami. Losing at home to an unranked Louisville, Carson throwing the 4 interceptions that day, that's the one, that's the killer. But they're still 10-2, and they still have the edge over Notre Dame in these criteria. Now, if they played on a neutral field today, would Notre Dame beat Miami? I know they'd probably be a 3 to 4 point favorite if you asked Las Vegas, and we did. So we know this. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If you look at the criteria of the CFP, we should be in there. Now, they could still write this wrong. Because if Texas Tech manhandles BYU like they did the last time they played them, I mean, that game wasn't even, that was like a high school team versus a pro team. BYU couldn't move the ball at all. If BYU gets beat, they're out. With their schedule, they're out. Don't matter if they have 2 losses just like Miami and Notre Dame, they're out. So BYU gets beat, right away Miami's 11. Now if they finish back-to-back with Notre Dame, do they do the right thing? Does the committee do the right thing? I'm surprised they moved Alabama up to 9. It's almost like to protect them, that even if they lose to Georgia, they'll let them move with 3 losses. And they shouldn't. If Alabama loses, you want to talk about a bad loss, they lost to Florida State early in the season. So if Alabama loses to Georgia, they should be out. So if they want to do the right thing, if Alabama and BYU, who are both underdogs this week, if they lose their games, they should be out. And Miami and Notre Dame should both be in. That's the way I see it. Now, if Duke somehow upsets Virginia, and it won't be that big of an upset. I mean, heck, what's the line? Let's look at it. Virginia's a 4-point favorite over Duke. 10-2 Virginia is a 4-point favorite over Duke. This game is Saturday night, 8 o'clock. We'll go over the schedules right now for the CFP playoffs. So, you have the USA, the Conference USA Championship, which is Kennesaw State at Jacksonville State. That is 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Now, none of these teams are going to any playoffs, so that's not something to put on your must-TV watch list. Your must-see TV list, rather. Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State, at Jacksonville State. That is the Conference USA Championship game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. All right? I'm sorry, nobody cares. Unless you're alumni of those schools or you're playing. Or you're their parents. Sorry. Now, the Troy James Madison game, the Sun Belt Championship. James Madison has a shot to get in, so that is something you want to keep an eye on. That is also at 7 p.m. Troy at James Madison. North Texas Tulane. This game's got some juice because these teams have been ranked all year. North Texas 11-1 at 10-2 Tulane. That is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And that will determine the winner of that is going to the dance. We know. They're in. The Mountain West Championship game, UNLV at Boise State. 10-2 UNLV at 8-4 Boise State. They're just playing for a trophy and a conference title because they're not going anywhere. They can win their conference. UNLV or Boise State are not going to the dance. BYU at Texas Tech. BYU ranked 11. Texas Tech is 4th in the CFP rankings. Texas Tech is a 12.5-point favorite. This game is Saturday at noon. We're going to come on Saturday and give out some of the Saturday games. We're not going to touch the Friday night games. I'm not touching the North Texas Tulane. Well, I don't know enough about Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State, to be honest with you, to pick that one. That's the 7 p.m. game tomorrow. The other 7 p.m. game is Troy James Madison. It's a 23.5-point spread. James Madison is obviously going to win the game, but who knows by how much. That's a lopsided. That is not must-see TV. The North Texas Tulane game is going to be a great game. I'm not giving that out, so I'll do my college picks for the remaining conference championship games Saturday morning when I'm on again. North Texas is a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Tulane tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. If I have a change of heart, I'll post it on the Instagram, Facebook pages if I like something. Also, 8 o'clock, UNLV at Boise State. Boise State's a 4.5-point choice there. The Saturday games, BYU at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 12.5-point favorite. I think they're going to kill BYU, and I'm going to need them to for my Miami Hurricanes to have a shot. The MAC Championship, Miami of Ohio at Western Michigan. Western Michigan is a 2.5-point choice. Neither of these teams are going anywhere after this conference championship. The big games 4 p.m., Georgia, 2.5-point favorite. This game's at a neutral site against Alabama. Duke at Virginia in the ACC championship game. This game's in Charlotte. That's 8 o'clock. We have Georgia at Alabama at 4 p.m. I'm sorry, that's at Mercedes-Benz Field, the home of the Falcons. That's in a neutral site, but, technically that's Georgia. So Georgia and Bama at 4 p.m. Saturday. Georgia currently a 2.5-point choice. 8 p.m. Saturday, Duke, Virginia. In the ACC championship, Virginia is a 4-point choice. And then Indiana, Ohio State. Ohio State is -4. That game is at 8 o'clock in the evening. So your Duke, Virginia, your Indiana, Ohio State, those are 8 o'clock games. And Georgia, Alabama is a 4 o'clock game. And your noontime game is Miami, Western Michigan. Nobody cares. Unless you're, like I said, family, alumni, or playing. 7-5 Miami at 8-4 Western Michigan. Western Michigan favored by 2.5. So those are your. Also, and we have BYU, Texas Tech. So your must-see viewing Saturday is BYU, Texas Tech at noon. Then 4 p.m. Georgia, Alabama, and then 8 p.m. you're going to have Duke, Virginia, and Indiana, Ohio State. I'm going to pick those games. I'm going to do those Saturday morning. If I do get an inkling to pick any of the Friday games, I'm not coming on tomorrow. I will post them on the Facebook or the Facebook, the Instagram. You'll see the posts on our sites, our two Facebooks, the Billy DiNapoli and North American Sports Report Facebook, which we want you guys to follow and like. And then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the North American Sports Report on YouTube. Always please support, like our Facebook pages, Billy DiNapoli and North American Sports Report. Like and follow. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, North American Sports Report. That's it, kids. That's what we got for tonight. And you guys have a great Thursday night football. Got some hockey games on tonight, too, you can watch. You know what? We'll give you that real quick before we get out of here. Currently in progress. The Bruins are up on the Blues in Boston, 2-0 in the first period. The New York Islanders, 14-10-3, are up on the 19-1-5 Colorado Avalanche with the best record in the NHL. That's a surprising end of the first period. 2-0 New York Islanders over the best team currently in hockey, the Colorado Avalanche. The New York Rangers are in Ottawa. They are up on the Senators 2-1 currently at the end of the first period. Also at the end of the first period, the Toronto Maple Leafs are over the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. The Pittsburgh Penguins are up on the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0. At the end of the first, the Florida Panthers are up on the Nashville Predators 1-0. The Panthers struggling 12-12-1, just waiting for help to come. And it's still, Matthew Tkachuk is still a couple weeks away, as is Eetu Luostarinen. You should get back next week, but Nojek and Tkachuk are probably 2 to 3 weeks away. And then you're still waiting on, obviously, Barkov and Kulikov and Gadjevich. The Panthers are just a mash unit. They are hanging in there with the help of Brad Marchand and Sammy Reinhart, who are playing out of this world. Anton Lundell has been a little bit hot and cold. They need more from him, but he has played okay. It's really Bennett and Verhaeghe that had got off to slow starts, and it's hurt the team. Bennett's picked it up a little lately. Carter, he had a couple games where he looked like he was starting to come alive, but Carter Verhaeghe just was away from the team because his wife gave birth. He's back tonight. And they're up 1-0 over the Predators at Sunrise. Also, just starting, the Red Wings are at Columbus. No score. The Minnesota Wild at 9 p.m. are going to be at Calgary, and the Seattle Kraken at 9 p.m. are going to be at Edmonton. 10 o'clock, we have the Chicago Blackhawks at the LA Kings. That is your NHL slate for tonight. Enjoy the big Thursday night football game with major playoff implications. The Dallas Cowboys visiting the Detroit Lions. You've got your injury report, you got your lines, you got your picks. You guys have a great, great night. I'm out of here. See you guys.